All right, so welcome back to Bad Bad Bowling. This is the Coachable Moment edition. Today what we're going to be going over is breakpoint, which I'm learning that a lot of people are confused about how it works. So there's 3 points of emphasis. There's your mark, breakpoint, and your release. Your release over your mark, reaching your breakpoint, which is where the ball takes off into its transition and starts to hook. Are we clear with this?
You know, that's one thing that I was never really taught when I was in high school, especially, that, you know, breakpoint wasn't a thing that we ever talked about. It was just hit your mark and good things will happen.
Right.
But it's something I've always kind of known about, never really did research on, so I'm kind of excited to get a few points from you today.
Okay, so that's the common thing that we're learning, is that most people never actually go over breakpoint. They hear it, but they don't actually understand it. Even if they know what it is, getting a clear understanding of it can make a big difference in how your game is actually played. So what we did is we put tape down the lane on lane 32, which is right next to the wall, and JoJo's going to be our test dummy today. What he's going to do is, the tape is 20 feet from the head pin, which allowing the ball, and there's tape on the second arrow, which is 10, and the first arrow, which is 5. So he's going to throw the ball so that it points to in between those two spots. So when JoJo's throwing it, everything he does is trying to get the ball to go over those two arrows, in between those two, because that's his break point. So he's going to position his feet anywhere from 15 all the way over to 35, trying to get between those, because those break point is going to give him what's called a different reaction. Because every time you change the angle, the ball hooks differently. Okay? Now I know what you're thinking. Those two pieces of tape in between 10 and 5 is going to be a different break point for everyone. No, that's not actually true. If you throw a hook ball, it should be the same for you, for me, for everyone. Now, depending on what kind of shot you're throwing, whether it's a really long one or a really short one, it might be adjusted by a foot or two, but it's still basically always the same.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Let's try it out. I'm going to try and hit that mark. We'll see if it works.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to line it up. JoJo's going to throw some shots, and we're going to see if he can't get it in between those marks on the ground. Okay, let's get hot.
All right, guys, so throwing the Infinite Physics with 2000 grit. I'm going to line up right on the 25 to start. I predict this is going to hook more than I want it to. And I threw it a little bit inside on that one too. All right, I'm going to throw one more, lining up at the exact same spot, 25. Threw the last one a bit inside, so let's see if we can get it out just a little bit. That time I did hit my mark. All right, so that last line worked out pretty good. That being said, I don't think I put as many revs on it as I normally would. So I'm going to rev it up a bit more this time. I'm going to move left about 2, maybe 3 boards. Let's do 3 boards. All right, so that last line worked out pretty well. I'm going to push the limits a little bit of this ball. I'm going to move all the way to the 30. And let's see if I can get it in
What
there.
are you trying to get? Wait, before you go, what are you trying to get the ball over? What is your mark you're looking at?
Standing here, I'm thinking around the 3rd arrow, just cheating right of the 3rd arrow.
Just
Probably.
right at the 3rd arrow?
Yep.
Okay, so everybody, just right at the 3rd arrow is where JoJo's putting the ball down at, but his break point's still going to be between the 2nd and 3rd arrow. Oh, little. Okay, so he got that one a little
bit
outside of the break point.
All right, we got Clarence walking down the lane now.
Yeah.
And he's going to put his hand right over. Let's see, he's going to the break point. So same break point, right in between the 5 and the 10 board. I'm still lined up on 30. I'm going to try and put it right over the 3rd arrow.
So his ball should pass right underneath my hand. Perfect.
A little bit inside, but there's a little margin for error.
Okay, so JoJo's gonna put his feet on 20. Where's your mark gonna turn to?
I'm thinking just to the right of the second arrow, maybe.
Okay, so just right of the second arrow, which is about 9, but the
9.
break point's gonna stay the same. It's gonna overhook, but no, it didn't overhook. You see
it
that?
held. So this
We're
time,
lining up.
I think I've determined
As you
that
can see the tape.
the best
JoJo's
line
gonna be
for
on
me right now with
27.
these oil conditions is going to be
Hold on, let me.
at
All
27.
right, so JoJo's gonna be on 27,
Same
and he's
break
gonna
point.
try to roll in between the tape. This is his break point. Perfect strike. You ready? All right, guys. So this is JoJo. He just had an opportunity to throw some shots for you guys. Now, JoJo's an actual 220 average bowler. So when we talk about hitting your break point, it's not that it's for people who aren't good, because JoJo's going to go on tour in February for regional, just like me. 220 average. As you see, he's so consistent, and that's the big thing. So, JoJo, let me ask you, what do you think about learning about the break point?
And like I said before, it's something I've always kind of known about it, but I never really thought about it. It's always just been hit the second arrow, hit your mark, whatever the break point is, hopefully it works. Putting the tape down there, it really shows that I thought I was a little inconsistent on the mark, but I'm actually hitting the break point a lot more frequently, like where I want to be at, than I
Right.
thought I would be. So, yeah, to conclude, I think it's very important, and I'm going to think about it a lot more going forward.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you practice your break point, so I know people think about a mark. A mark is only good for a certain amount of time, because remember, everything's geometry, so it's angles, right?
Right.
So when you hit a mark, if your mark is too flat and you throw a rather nice hook, you're always going to leave it through the head, go Brooklyn. So that's the thing that a lot of people aren't grasping, is a break point is always going to be the same, whether it's for you, for me. I can throw several shots. If I'm missing the break point, I'm not going to strike either. So what makes you, let me ask you this, what makes you so consistent hitting it?
I have no idea. I don't know why. I never thought about it, but you know what? Working in a bowling alley, you come out here and you bowl all the time. You get free bowling, so I guess you just get consistent after a while.
Right, but
So-
but the best part about it all is you realize that you are actually hitting your break point even though the tape wasn't there.
That's about where I normally would go anyway, yeah. But
So let me ask you this. Do you think you could hit your mark and not your break point and throw a strike?
that's a good question. Hit the mark, not the break point, and throw a strike. With maybe a different ball that's not so aggressive. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Because I watched you throw several shots, and every time you missed your break point, you didn't strike.
Yeah. It was either coming in hot. If I was on the inside, it was coming in light. So
But I also watched you hit your mark, not your break point, and still not strike.
yeah.
So they do go together, you agree. The break point and mark goes together.
You need them both for a good shot. That's for sure.
So you need to be consistent at the line with your release, hitting your mark, allowing it to hit the break point down the line.
I think so. I agree.
Now, would you also agree, as the lanes break down and you're going further left, you still want to be able to hit that same break point going down the lane?
Yeah, I wouldn't say you wouldn't want to go inside much more, because it's gonna. For me, if I get it too far inside, it depends on the oil conditions. But if it's inside for me, I can't get the carry and I leave a 10-pin.
Right. But even so that's the thing that everyone has to understand, is just because you go further left doesn't mean your break point has to change.
No.
It doesn't, because that's just the point in which your ball is going to start rolling. So when you get further inside, what you're doing is trying to get through the oil, allow your ball to slide to where it becomes to hit friction, which is your break point, and starts to go. All right?
So what you're kind of getting at is it's more about getting your ball to the break point and not letting it break before it gets there.
Correct.
That's what you're getting at. Okay.
Correct. Because only thing you're doing is allowing it to, when you're moving left, is allowing it to get further down the lane to that point.
Right.
Before it starts to hook.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Well, thanks again for tuning in to Bad Bowling. This is JoJo IMC. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that thumbs up button if you enjoy it. And if you have any questions for me or for JoJo in regards to your release, your break point, or even your mark, please don't hesitate. Let us know. JoJo will tune in and he pays attention. Don't let him lie to you.
I like to watch sometimes. Yeah.
All right, so.
Thanks for having me, Big C.
Oh no, it's
Appreciate
great
it.
to have you, and you'll see him again too. Welcome to Bad Bad Bowling. Have a great day.